We have an amazing show with some amazing ladies. They both run their family and their home, and they run huge organizations, and they're going to give us their secrets today. Stay tuned. This is Leah Richeimer for the Ladies Talk Show. We're going to have a lot of fun today. Yay. Okay. So here, guys, start typing your questions, or I should go like this. That's how everybody writes. Everyone's typing like this. So type in questions now about how to have balance in your life. These ladies are amazing. You're going to be so excited. I just want to start the show with something very exciting. I think most of you know this coming Sunday that I'm doing the daily giving event. I'm hosting the show with like these unbelievable powerhouses. We are going to show you the video, start it off with there, and then you're going to meet the actual women who run organizations that daily giving gives money to. This is really awesome. You're going to love the show. Okay. So Scott, it's about a 40-second video or something like that, and we're going to come right back and meet these awesome ladies. Go ahead. Hi. Okay. So I want to introduce you to our first director. But before I do that, whatever you do, write down, type this out, sign up for Sunday night. Do not miss it. You will be sorry. If you miss it, your friends say, did you see it? It was the most amazing thing or whatever. It's dailygiving.org/power hour. Don't miss it and sign up. Okay. So let's introduce the first director. Now, this is one of the powerhouse women. Actually, maybe let's have all the ladies. Come on, everybody plug in and see. Yeah, here we go. Okay, there we go. That's Alana. That's our first speaker. There we go. Okay, so Alana, I'm going to start with you. And did Bronny come there? Everybody's on. Okay, so I'm going to introduce one at a time. So if you don't mind, Alana, wave your hand so people say, okay, welcome, Alana Silver. So Alana is the founder and director of Sharsheret, which is it's people who are increased risk for breast cancer and ovarian cancer. And she's been running this organization for a couple of decades. And I'm going to start with you, and I'm going to start with one question for you. So tell us a little bit about your organization, and also how did you get involved with it? I mean, you have your own family, your own life, your own whatever, like how did it all start?
Okay, first of all, I know we're on quick here, just a huge thank you to Leah. You're amazing. Your show is amazing. So honored to be on today. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Great.
So a little bit about Sharsheret. We are the only national Jewish breast and ovarian cancer organization. So if women and families are living with breast cancer, ovarian cancer at risk, anything they need that's not medical, you call Sharsheret anywhere in the country. So that's what Sharsheret is.
What do you mean anything that's not medical? It seems like it's medical.
Right. So there's a lot of emotional issues that are going on. Like think about what's going on when you're diagnosed with cancer, and doctors, while they're great at the medical, they love to partner with Sharsheret for all the psychological issues you're dealing with, or financial issues, or just understanding what the doctors are telling you, or how do you prepare for a doctor's appointment, or how does my husband help me get to where I need to be, or how do I tell my children, am I keeping this a secret? Am I being public? Can I be confidential in my community? You know, all the different surgeries, and how do I understand when the doctor tells me the choice is up to you? And we could speak to other women. We could find you a woman who's your age, who has the same diagnosis, same number of children, same religious background, anything. We can have women calling who are from all walks of Jewish life, and they can find someone just like them who's gone through it. And there's really no other sense of strength of chizuk you get than from someone else who's gone through this, another mom, another woman who's sister. And we don't only help the women, it's also the husbands and the mothers and the sisters. Because when a woman is facing breast cancer or ovarian cancer, it doesn't just affect her. It affects the whole family. It affects the community. So that's where Sharsheret steps in. It takes over, holds your hand, literally, virtually holds your hand every step of the way, from the time you're diagnosed till, you know, God willing, survivorship. And
Amen. So how did you get started in this? What created how did that happen?
So I actually started as a volunteer. this is going back, and it's going to show my age now, so sorry everyone. 18 years ago, I was a young Jewish mom. I had 4 little kids, crazy, crazy busy. And my friend said, you have to come here, the founder. So I'm not actually the founder of Sharsheret, but I'll tell you where I am. The founder, her name was Leah Richeimer. She was 28 years old, and she was starting this organization, and she was coming to speak in my shul. And I said to my friend, listen, I finally am getting the kids to sleep. I'm not coming out to hear someone talk about breast cancer. I don't have breast cancer. Baruch Hashem, I don't have other things you have to deal with. And she said, no, you have to come. Our friends are getting involved. You have to come. So I come to shul and I hear this woman, Leah Richeimer, speak, and it's, blows me away. She is telling me all these things. And as a young Jewish woman, I said, how could I not get involved? So at the end of the meeting, she said, if you want to get involved, write down your name and write down your specialty. Like if you're a lawyer. And I was literally a stay-at-home mom. So what was I going to write? So I just wrote, I'm organized. So she calls me the next week. We go to the volunteer meeting. I don't know anyone else in the room really. And she says, who's Alana Silber? And I said, me. And she said, okay, you wrote that you're organized. And I was like, really? There's lawyers, there are graphic artists, there are like doctors in the room. And she's calling me. I said, yeah, I'm organized. She said, you're going to organize the first volunteer dinner. And I did. And then she said to me, look, do you want to work at Sharsheret? It's only me. I have no help. And I have an MBA in healthcare. And I have good connections in the Jewish community. And that's what you need to get an organization off the ground. So I started working part-time, and maybe we'll talk about it later, how I balanced it. And that was 18 years ago. I never left. Fast forward, now there are 33 staff members. We have 5 offices. I'm CEO, which is also like a work-life balance, which, women should take that.
We can't wait to get to that.
And that's where I am. And the women at Sharsheret are really what's inspiring me, the amazing people that we meet to stay on longer. So that's
gorgeous. Story. What did you say about CEO? We should never take that title?
So we should take it. Like I encourage women who are running organizations to take on, previously it's been, when you looked at organizations, more men had the title and the same women that they were executive directors. I encourage you to take on the role of CEO. It really is reflective of the amount of work and effort you're putting in.
Okay, I'm now the CEO of the Ladies Talk Show.
Yeah, Leah, I'm the CEO of my home and my children. I'm CEO of that.
Sarit's the executive director of Ladies Talk Show. Maybe she should change it. Okay, we'll talk later. Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy to consult on it.
Okay.
By the way, Leah, already a few people have been commenting about how it's so cool that she didn't have to put a big title and she actually just put organized, and that was what got her called out at the meeting, which is really cool. You don't have to have some big title to be someone that's important and has a purpose,
That's very inspiring, actually. And yeah, it's very, okay. So let's go through we're going to get, each one is going to have a little intro, and then I'm going to start asking questions about how you balance your life. Okay. So the next one is Shauna, and it's Friedman, right? Not Friedman, Friedman. Okay. Shauna Friedman. I get it right. Okay. She's the executive director or CEO, wink, wink, CEO of Shalom Task Force, and which combats and prevents domestic violence. So please tell us a little bit about the organization and how you got into it.
So again, I want to echo the thank you to you, and thank you for Daily Giving, for organizing this with you. It's really exciting for me to be here and to meet Alana and Bronny, who are really legends in the community, and I've never had the opportunity to sit with them at all. So I've always been admired them from afar, and their work from afar, their organizations add so much to our community. So it's good to be here with you. I hope soon in person. So I am the chief of, not yet CEO, but I do appreciate that feedback, the executive director of Shalom Task Force. Shalom Task Force is the only national Jewish response to domestic violence. And our mission is very simple. We want to combat domestic violence in the Jewish community, and we want to help foster healthy relationships. And we do that through a number of mechanisms. We have our famous hotline. I think most people in the community might have heard of that, but it's an anonymous, confidential hotline where people could call in. Now we have WhatsApp and chat and text to be able to just talk about what's going on in their relationships and be heard, believed, and helped. We help people with safety planning that way. And since our inception in mid 90s, we've answered over 26,000 calls. So we're here for you in that way. And you don't have to be a victim of physical violence to call. We serve anyone, men and women. In that way, we're here. We like when people call to check in relationships early on so they don't get into long-term relationships that are not safe. So we have our hotline. We have legal services based in New York, but we consult throughout the country around what are legal remedies for safety, just so people understand their options. And if people, if we help people through representation in New York. If that's where the direction they choose, we go to Based-In, we help people with gets. So we're in the forefront of that issue. And then we have education and prevention, which is, you know, our heart and soul as well, because we really want to see people be in healthy and safe relationships. So we go into schools. This year, we had a launch of a Purple Fellowship. We're in 23-day schools in Yeshivot.
It's called a what? A Purple Fellowship?
A Purple Fellowship. Purple is our color. I know the breast cancer is pink, so purple is domestic violence.
Okay.
We do this Purple Fellowship where we go into schools, and we've impacted 7,000 yeshiva students by just talking about what are markers of healthy relationships. What are we looking for in any healthy relationship? Because we want to prevent it. And we go out to shuls and community centers really to be out there to teach around.
You're teaching the men or you're teaching the women?
We teach both. We teach both, because even though more women report domestic violence and more women are survivors and victims of domestic violence, anyone could be a victim of domestic violence, and we want to make sure we're there to help anyone. So yes, we go men, yeshivos, they're wearing purple for a day. We have purple yarmulkes for them. So we want to be part of everybody's discourse. We should have these conversations, and we want to destigmatize having a conversation. They're not fun, but we try to make it as fun as possible. So when you ask how did I get to Shalom Task Force, so I will age myself as well. I've been in the field of domestic violence work as a social worker for 20 years, which is frightening to me. And I moved to New York looking for a position, and I came upon a position in a kosher Jewish shelter. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. And it was a job I was offered. And at the time, when I told people what I did, I worked in a shelter for kosher domestic violence victims, like, that's a job that's really necessary. And now I think people will say, oh, I get it, but they'll think it's the other Jewish community. And
you mean because it was so not known?
Nobody knew it. It's like, really, you have a full-time position? I'm like, I'm not the only one. Like, there's really that kind of need in our community. And then I think that the discussion has changed, and people will acknowledge that the issues happen in our community, but they often fill in the other community. So if you're in a mono-Orthodox community, it's the Yeshivish community. If it's Yeshivish, it's this one. You know, we all think about the other community. So a lot of the work I try to do is say it's everywhere, and it is everywhere. But so I was in this job.
How do you help an individual person? Well, actually, we're running out of time for the. Yeah. I'm so off the clock right now, ladies, and we want to get to the content of how do you balance your life. But just to finish this story, and then I just want to know how you help.
So anyways, I moved forward, and I worked as a social therapist in the field. But I always felt part of the Shalom Task Force family, because it's really the voice for domestic violence in our communities. And then around 3 years ago, I was asked to come on as executive director, and it's been, I feel blessed to be in a job where I feel like I can make a great impact, and I care. 20 years later, I care very passionately about this issue. I feel we need to talk about it, and we need to be that voice. So that's how I got here. Thank God, not from personal experience, but I've had the real honor to journey with many, many survivors from when they were victims till they're in safety. And I often, even though I'm not a practicing therapist right now, I still get phone calls from prior clients of mine just catching up and telling me what they're up to, and that's always a real joy to me, to see people be able to move into a
Are you guys in awe? Are you just like watching this, like, where did these ladies come from? I'm just like in awe. This is
Leah, people are asking, wow, Tushana and these women, are they in Los Angeles? So no, they're not. Right?
Okay, they're
we are doing work in Shalhevet. We do work in Eula, so we are, and I'm sure Alana and Bronny also have a national reach.
Yes, we have an office in LA, and we also do the whole school and shul thing. Yep. So yeah, we're all out there.
All right. Okay, we're gonna have to move on to the next one, but this is just like blowing me away. Okay, let's go into Bronny. Excuse me, Bronny Rosen, who is the founder of A Time. It provides educational and support for infertile couples, doctors, and rabbis, also with education. So maybe tell us a little bit about your organization and also how you got into it.
So okay. So first, I want to thank you, Leah.
Okay. Love to have you.
Oh, the honor,
privilege
with both these amazing women. The CEO, so proud of you. I had the special honor of knowing Rachel Shoretz. She came to me when she started Shoretz, and I get personal anachas from where you are. Not that I'm, I know that you did all the work, but I remember it was just a dream and amazing where you guys are. We do come in sometimes with a pre-cancer fertility freeze. So we know the work that you do, and I'm sure that, all of you are amazing. So me, 27, I think it might be 28 years ago when I was personally going through infertility. So I was completely alone. I had no one to call. I had no one to ask for a doctor. I remember making a promise that if HaKadosh Baruch Hu helps us and we're zochah to have a baby, that there won't be anything that we won't do to share, to help couples. My personal passion is medicine. If people know me, I love medicine. I'm not a doctor. I wish I was. But I just really wanted a number to call for the right doctor. I think the biggest thing that we did, I thank Daily Giving for giving us the opportunity, helping so many people. I think that our panelists can agree that we live a life of daily giving, right? Every minute by minute, and it's a schus. It really is. It's not easy. You'll see that, when you see it, choices a whole day. And it meant coming out there. I remember adding that little candle when my son was born. Shabbos, very special moment. Adding that little candle for my Maishi and crying. And thinking about all the other people out there that do not have the zechus and remembering my promise. I still feel like I've fulfilled my promise in more ways than I could even imagine. A time has become a lot bigger than we can ever, only what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted. What we do is we summarize it. We do many programs and services. And I'll tell you who I am right now. I happen to be a grandmother. I'm a Bubby. I think I'm the most infertile Bubby out there. I'm the picture of infertility. But I will never leave. Just like I always think of Rachel Imenu, I wish I can speak to her about her infertility journey. And I think when she names her baby Yosef, she gives herself a memory for the rest of her life. She even explained, she says, Hashem gathered my shame, and she put her name out there. We learn it in the park. We learn it all the time. I'm very into coming out there. I am very into, I think that women are great. I think we do have a Bina Yasera. I, by choice, am now director of member services. There is a board. The board consists of women and men. They're very respectful, but I chose to be director of member services. So I always do founder / director of member services. There's one service in 8 times. So we summarize it into referrals, advice, education, and support. We do many. I'm looking at our publication. We want to be the number to call for anything anybody needs, going through infertility. We branched off into women's health. We have a division called Chava. We have a division called Hug for pregnancy loss. I personally, after my journey through infertility, experienced I had a stillborn baby, very, very difficult time processing that, forgiving Hashem, all bad. And Baruch Hashem, it blossomed into a division of a time called Hug, Hope, Understanding, and Guidance for Pregnancy Loss. And you just try to be there for Klal Yisrael. I do want to say also, just on the theme of the women, that when we first started a time, we went to Rav Pam, who was Rosh Yeshiva Torah V'das, because my mother and everyone who knew me said, Brani, you have this beautiful baby. You'll never marry him off if you're being so outspoken. I marched on Fifth Avenue to change the law. I'm Hasidish. It doesn't people are going to look at you like you're bringing infertility out in the forefront. So the 3 of us, the 3 women that started it, we went to Rav Pam, Zechor L'Tzadik U'Bracha. He looked at us. It's a long story how we got in. We were all of 20 something, very excited. I had my son on my lap when we went to speak to him, because I said, if we're going to go to Rav Pam, and Rav Pam looked at us, 3 women, and he gave us a bracha. He never said, get aborted men. He never said any of that. He believed in us. So I always think that, that's so powerful. He said, look at this desk, the desk that you're sitting at, how many tears were shed because people went through infertility. So yeah, women, we're great. We're the multitaskers. We're amazing with a heart.
Wow.
And we need men too, but we're capable.
Wow. Okay.
By the way, Leah, somebody on Instagram said this show might need to be for 2 hours because they want to hear more. And on Torah Anytime's live stream, Dina said, Bryony has a huge fan club in the UK. We all love her and have known her for years. Please send her warmest love from Dina, Manchester. She's on the best talk show ever.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, Wow, I am so blown away. That's like, it's hard to make Leah speechless. I'm sorry to tell you. Okay, so I'm just going to go right in, and we really want to deliver for these ladies how you manage. I mean, your organizations are just Diana, like we could stop the show right here, but what we really want to answer the question of how do you juggle it? Because, especially this has been crazy year with COVID where we've got everybody at home and nobody could go out now, we're all like, hello, today is, whatever, so it's kind of like we have to figure out how to balance. Has been harder than ever this year. Maybe we could have had you a year ago and you would have helped us. But anyway, here we are. How do you balance your marriage, your family and kids and grandkids, okay, and the charitable giving? I mean, charity starts at home. So the very first question, I want to start with you, Shana, is that, or Ilana, sorry, is how do you manage to, and especially when your kids were real little, how did you manage running the organization, prioritizing, making your husband feel like a king in your home, hopefully, how did you juggle that? So we'd like, and then we're going to go and ask each one of you that question.
Okay, so first of all, I was the queen of remote working way before COVID. So I made it very clear when I started working that I would only be in the office certain hours, and then I would get home at certain hours. So I was able to be home at, let's say, 2:00 when the bus dropped off my, 3-year-old or carpool. And I was able to turn on my laptop immediately. So I was, once, a little bit, read him a book, give him a snack or nap, whatever it was. And I waited for my big kids to come home and I would log back on. So it was about creating very clear boundaries on when I was in the office. And then even now, as time goes on and I have opportunity to be in the office more, I've also always blocked out certain times during the day where I don't take any meetings and I don't go and take any phone calls. Let's say 9 to 11, Tuesday and Thursday, I have to do so. And what did I do? I said, I have to go to the supermarket. I have to go to Glad Express here. I have to take care of my kids. I have to go to a sitter play, a chumash play. So I blocked out those times all the time. And then with my husband, I have a husband who got home before me. He had a job. He was working in finance and with the market. So he was home by 4:00. So I used to make dinner the night before so that everyone, have it ready so that if he wanted to eat before the kids, he was at work at 4 a.m, came home at 3:30. But I would always make sure that we would eat together when I walked in. And I didn't do any work, and then spend some time with him, and then he would get tired, and then I could go back and do more work. So I think.
Wait, I want to, because there are people here who are actually taking notes and want to know. He worked from 4 a.m. to 3:30 in the afternoon.
He left the house at 4:45 in the morning because he's a foreign exchange trader. So he's on the market.
So when he came home for dinner.
He walked in sometimes at 4:00. So I knew he'd be.
And when did you get home?
I would get home, well, in the beginning at 2:30 and then 3:30 and then 4:30 as my kids got older. But I always had the dinner made the night before so that when he walked in, I didn't have to start patching, making dinner. It was all ready and set to go.
From when you came home?
Yes. So even if I came, so then I could put it in the oven at 3:30 or whatever.
I see. Okay.
But it was also really, really easy food. Everything has the same recipe. It's like garlic powder, onion powder, paprika on either salmon or chicken or everything, put it in, covered in a tin. And I promise you it reheats with liquid and it's not dry. And then a vegetable and something, and everything was made the night before so that I didn't have to start and nothing was.
So you're saying after you put a full day in, right? Then you tuck the kids into bed and you went back in the kitchen and you started chopping potatoes and putting them in a thing?
Very little chopping. No, a whole baked potato. That you could stick in earlier and keep it, but everything was very, very minimal. No, I didn't have to look in a cookbook for a recipe. Everything was basically the same recipe, but also I wanted everyone to be healthy. Like I wasn't a big fried person.
Would you cook it the night before? You cook it the
night before, like 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, have it ready. And then when you get home at the next day, I use a lot of tins, and a lot of aluminum foil. And this way it's already set and you stick it in the oven and
forget it.
Yeah.
Lots of hearts and love on that one. Because I think mothers today stress themselves out to make these fancy dinners. So it's nice to hear you can use paprika, garlic powder, and salt.
That's
a spray of olive oil helps.
Yeah, spray of olive oil.
Spray of olive oil.
Okay. And avocado spray is good too.
Oh, good. That's interesting. Okay, Shana. Is it Shauna or Shayna?
Shauna.
Shauna. Oh, I'm so bad at this. Okay, so sorry, Shauna.
So
Okay,
the question is how we balance our lives. And I have to say that I can't say I always do. And I think that's part of balancing your life is being very real about it. That sometimes you do it better and sometimes you don't do it as well. And that's just what the human condition is. And even, you know, CEOs of nonprofits and anyone in the world, I think it's honest to say that it's a struggle. And we have our little hints, and I wrote down some things Alana said because sometimes I forget to do those, right? Because life does get really, really busy. I'll say I always tell people that I get as much help as I could afford at the time. I'm a big believer in having, you know, help when I can. So if I could outsource some of the cleaning and stuff or managing it that way, that helps me. And I've been
also, the one thing about that is people, there's some things you can trade with friends. Like, let's say you don't have the finances to do it, but you can get a friend, a neighbor, and say, I'll take your kid Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 4. If you take mine 2 to 4 Mondays and Wednesdays.
That's right. And I was joking with a friend even about Pesach food. Like, I'm like, I'll make all the potato kugels and you make all the broccoli kugels and we'll exchange. Like, are there ways that we could just support each other and make it a little simpler, right? Like, just make it simpler, you know. And I think just what works in our house when it really works well is when we have structure and really trying to find ways. So, you know, some way COVID has been a bit of a blessing for our family balance because I'm no longer commuting into the city. So I'm home a lot earlier. So I get the kids off the bus and if, you know, my family will laugh. I tried very hard to put my phone away for the first 3 or 4 hours they're home. And unless it's an emergency, then it'll ring when it's an emergency if someone needs me. But otherwise, I try not to look at texts, WhatsApps, and try to disengage for the first 2 hours because I want to be present and as present as I can. And then I do log in later. I mean, I need to, that's part of the responsibility. But I do log in later.
How do you do that? How do you turn it off and not like be pulled?
I plug it in the kitchen and then I move away from it. I can't say I'm perfect. I told my husband to listen, so he's going to come when I come home. He's like, I don't see you do that every day, but I really do try to plug it in, put it away. I remember I was very, very mocked about it when my kids were very young, and the kids were home for a snow day, and I was home with them, and so my phone was in me because I was working, and my 18-month-old basically yelled at me, goes, throw away phone, and you saw that he knew he was in competition with this phone. So I'm not perfect at it, but it's something I try to be aware of, especially try to keep my children off of technology. I'm trying more and more to be aware of that. It's something I'm working hard on. And, you know, just trying to, you know, we talk about daily giving and this idea of incorporating practice in your every life. So daily giving, you know, is a practice of tzedakah, literally. But I think, you know, if you look at all the research around self-care and just taking care of others and taking care of yourself, it does come down to daily practice. It's not about the big retreats and the vacation. It does come down to daily practice. So carving out that daily practice for yourself. So it's a beautiful day here in New York. So before going to the office today, walking around the block, you know, or doing something. But I want to just say that I think when we say, how do you keep all the balls in the air? Sometimes they do fall. And sometimes it's a decision to me. And I wonder if it resonates, is like, which ball am I going to let fall? And some balls are glass.
Wait a second, write that one down.
I don't think I came up with it, but like this idea, like some balls are glass and they'll really break, and some you'll pick up later and you'll be able to keep put up there again, and like making that decision. But you know, just trying to every day and it's a practice, and it could be a struggle. And you know, incorporating as many, you know, I love what Alana says. I look forward to hearing Bronnie, and just thinking about it more, Yeah, I do a lot of those tricks, like marinating chicken and leaving it in the freezer, and that way it's a quick, you know, like those things, and like getting over having fancy dinners, but just making sure they're nutrition enough, like it's good enough. And even Shabbos, like it doesn't have to be, you know, 3 different meats, like we'll do okay. We could still enjoy Shabbos together if it's simple, and focusing more on that. But yeah, certainly COVID has changed some of it. I don't know if we're going to get into that, but yes, absolutely. Thank you.
All right, maybe an event. Okay, Bronnie, let's hear. What do you have to say?
Leah, this is a little hard coming after the 2 answers. There were so much like me.
I know, I'm taking notes. I'm like, wait a second.
I feel like I'm challenged. I always have to make choices. I agree that having fresh chicken, it doesn't need to be fancy, but having the dinner makes it possible for me to give a call. Like if I can't speak to I just today, I was asked to speak at one point on Charity Begins at Home to Hatzalah women. And I'm like, seriously, can you pick a better topic? Oh, I'm sorry, we're at the Seder. Oh, you have chest pain, you'll have to wait. And I went and I just went well, I kept asking because my mother kept saying, you waited so long for this little baby. And then what are you doing? You're going into this office to help other people have a baby? Of course we have to, all day we need to process, right? When you're giving, all day. So I remember doing today, for the first time today, 27 or 28 years of giving, someone gave me an amazing meeting of Charity Begins at Home. So I'm going to have to share because you're going to love it. Now,
Okay,
if
great.
like we do, they understand. So, so I went around asking all Gedolim and educators and my favorite social workers, is Charity Begins at Home a theme that we should bring into our homes? Like, and what is charity? Is it a Yiddish theme? Is it from the Torah? So I got a lot of amazing answers, and somebody said to me, it comes from Charity Begins at Home. When you're giving people money, give it to your neighborhood, right? And then somebody said to me, Charity Begins at Home. What do you consider your home? Is your home you, your husband, your kids, or is your home your community? Is your home Klal Yisrael? That was an amazing answer. Then someone said an amazing answer too, which I live by, is the biggest charity you can do in your home is to show your children what another Yid means to you, right? Show them giving. So that's the biggest gift you can ever give, because we all got it. I got it from my parents. My husband, the only reason I could do is because I saw it from my mother, you know. So here's the best dance I got today, and I thank Chami for.
Wait, we need a drum roll. So we have drum roll.
Because you're gonna love it. She said, I said, Chami, what does Charity Begins at Home mean to you? So she said, Charity Begins at Home. Bronnie, you're the home. It begins with you. Self-care. You can't do charity if you're falling apart. You can't do charity if you don't do self-care. You can't. If your marriage is suffering, your kids are suffering, you're suffering, the world is not going to get the charity. It was my first time that I heard that.
Goosebumpy. You're the home. I'm loving that.
Home. I'm also charity.
Explain, what do you mean by self-care? What is?
I also, charity begins at home with the person that's doing the charity. That's what it means. That you need to think, what do you need to be able to continue helping the Klal? Do you need possibly to exercise? Do you need to eat well? Do you need to do you get more help? I'm also a very quick cooker. I'm like the instant or very, very slow. I also do chicken, not overnight, in the morning, easy chicken, or very, very quick. But can I just say like one very quick story that changed my whole thinking when I was quite young, when I did the helpline, when I did all the services at nighttime. So a woman failed an IVF cycle. Now my husband is very into like, or me maybe.
Explain that's introverted.
Oh, okay. We have this thing that I give him 5 minutes when he comes home. Just like you said, when he comes home, those few minutes, hi, how was your day? And then I could do anything, when whatever. He's not watching, so it's fine. So those 5 minutes mean a lot. This hot dinner, not fancy, hot. They don't care really. It's served, it's, you know, I'm there. Someone failed a very expensive fertility cycle. Yeah. And I'm on the phone with her. She's crying. She's really, really sad. And he walks in. This is at least 20 years ago. She walks in and I'm showing my husband like, hi, sign language, the pot's there. She's crying. I'm so sad. And he's like, okay. 10 minutes later, she says this to me. She says, oh, Bronnie, I'm going to have totally changed tone from like, oh my God, Ronnie, I'm going to have to go now. My husband just walked in. I remember hanging up and saying, I need to learn from this.
Wow.
I need to learn from this. So I shut my phone, just like you said, I shut my phone. I give him those 10 minutes. I do it more for me even than for him. And then I can, then I can be there.
What do you mean you do it more for you than him?
Giving my marriage these 10 minutes, like giving it to him, I feel like I'm a wife also. You know what I'm saying? That I'm giving my marriage something. You know, I'm shutting my phone and giving him those 10 minutes.
Great.
Wow, Leah, we have literally Off the Hook on all channels. On Facebook, someone wrote, these women have so much insight. Julia, who's actually a first-time viewer of our show, so such an amazing show to come on to, said, I'm really excited about the resources that they're all providing.
Oh, you
I have
went,
questions.
and
So
what?
can we get to questions? Because I have really good questions. that
Go
came in.
questions. Yeah, you got some.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
So the first question that came in, that's a really good question, is from Instagram. I had to work last night and my daughter wanted to share something and hid my phone from me. I know she wanted my attention, but how do we balance and work from home without affecting our children or family lives?
Did you understand that question? Who wants to answer? Just raise your hand. Whoever wants to answer it. Did you understand the question? It's, or she has her daughter was telling her, please get off the phone. If we were working from home and you're trying to do charity and you're trying to run your business from home and you're trying to balance it, and her daughter is all upset and bent out of shape for not, for her not being there, how do you balance that? So does someone want to answer it?
Yeah, because her daughter feels like she's competing.
Raise your hand. I can't see who's talking. I mean, who's whatever. Shauna, looks like you're it. You raised your finger, so you're it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the perfect answer, but I think it does come down to what Alana was saying about it. There's some kind of structure, and sometimes if we prep for it beforehand, it gives the attention and it allays the anxiety about it. So I know, like last night I had a meeting from 8:30 to 10. I was very clear with my children, like I could spend between, it was like around 7:30. I could be with you for the next 45 minutes. Do you want me to read you a book? Do you want me to listen to a podcast with you? Do you want me, but at 8:20, I have to go down to my office. I have an office in the house and I can't be interrupted tonight. I can't, it's an important meeting. And they were able to manage it. There are times where I tell them that, and there's video of me with kids on my lap. I mean, there are times where it doesn't always work and they need a little bit more. I think the world is a little bit more forgiving about that now. It's one of the positives of COVID, but I think sometimes preempting that, and sometimes it's hard, and sometimes children get disappointed, and sometimes work gets disappointed. But I find that the more I'm able to really express what I expect from them and what I'm able to give to them, it works a bit better. I mean, that's what I've experienced.
Okay, and Bronnie had something to say. We've got more. She's flagging me down. We've got more questions. So yeah, go ahead.
I think that's amazing. I think that that was a bad moment. It doesn't mean, I think that planning, like you said, letting them know when they know, okay, mommy will be at, I get more worried when they say, weren't you supposed to go to the meeting at 4:30? It's like 3:00. They dismiss me sometimes. But I think, yes, you need to validate her thing. You probably need to put your phone down. You need to forgive yourself also. You're probably in overload. So you validate her, say, oh, you feel like you need mommy right now. Give me a minute. And then you rethink maybe giving her that time, plan a little different. When she gets to the point where they get to the point where they're like yelling, they're frustrated.
Yeah, that's very good. Okay, good. Come with the next
Okay,
question.
so I have a question, which I'm going to trump others right now because I feel like, hey, that's my right to ask mine. But I'm part of being the producer. But I feel like I always have time for my children, but the one person that I probably push aside the most ends up being my husband, because I feel like he's an adult, and if there's other things I have to do, it's like he'll deal with it and he understands. So how do I kind of balance that part out?
I could take this a little bit. So
Okay.
I have that, because my husband's home early, I have a lot of friends whose husbands come home late. So they don't have to worry about that. But so first thing is that sometimes other friends will call me, like other women call me at night. And I really try not to have personal phone calls with my girlfriends when he's around, because I think he finds it really annoying. And I could be giving him that time. So I try to find other times to talk to my friends, or even texting now. It's just annoying. So we try to spend time together doing something. So I think that that's definitely helpful. And I really actually talk to him and ask him more about his day, because organizations that we're working on and our stories are so amazing. Like when I hear the two of you talk about it, we naturally bring it home, because this is really interesting topics and it relates to all of us. It's all part of the Jewish community. So I try to talk to him about his job, and or just even about things that are not related to my job, because my job is all consuming. So sometimes I try not to mention Sharsheret or anything that happened right away. Let me hear other things that are going on with the family, things that are going on in the world, things that are going on in the community. So it's not focused on my job all the time. He tends to ask me afterwards a million questions because it's so interesting about my job, but I kind of don't talk about Sharsheret first. So, and I make the time to literally sit with him and then really give him the time, because it's really, and my kids respected that. They kind of are like happy. Oh, their mommy and daddy are talking now, or, and that kind of thing. And we also, in the summer, and I don't know if everyone has this, we eat outside. So we have like a little deck outside the kitchen. So whatever, as long as the weather is good and wherever you are in the country, we'll sit and eat, try to eat outside. So it feels like we're out a little bit, even in COVID, you could do that.
Very adorable. But the other thing she was talking about, mostly the conflict between not work and your husband, but your kids and your husband. Is that my understanding of what you're?
Well, both, meaning more like we're going to pick your work. Women feel very validated by their work because we don't feel very validated by being mothers, sadly, even though we should.
Right.
So we feel very validated. Everyone pats us on our back for all the work we do. So we put that first, obviously, but our children become second, and then the husband sort of goes to the bottom of the rung.
Right. Does anyone have anything else to say about that?
I want to say, I really feel that awareness is the answer. Like saying, how do I do that? Like noticing that your husband, that you're maybe putting your children in front of your husband or whatever. I feel that I'm becoming a college teacher. My passion came from, my specialty will be teaching colleges that have known fertility issues, no ovaries, no uterus, post-cancer. I didn't know who to send them to, so I'm learning this. So my big thing, I'm doing a lot of stuff in marriage. I think that the biggest thing, the Torah says, Chanoch al pi darko, right? So that's a very big thing in Chanoch. Every child is different. It's very hard to take a tool and use it for every child. It just isn't. There's different dynamics, and I think the biggest thing in marriage is Isha Keshera Oseret Som Bala, which is her husband's will. Like her husband comes home at 3:30, then there's these men that breeze in at 8 o'clock. They're there for 20 minutes. Everyone needs to kind of tweak this to their marriage, knowing that it's a very important relationship, knowing how you said how the kids love when you're sitting and talking together. Finding things that work for you. If it's eating outside, thinking about it as the first step.
Fantastic.
And then finding the things like we're walking about, finding the things that will help you get to a place that you don't feel so bad that you're picking your children over your husband. You know what I'm saying? You work on, you think about it, Hashem gives you as soon as you get it, as soon as you get that maybe you need to work on it, that's the first step to making it better.
It's fantastic. That's like half the battle is knowing. That's awesome. So now we got time for only one last question. I'm going to start with Alana. And the last question I want to ask, and all of you can think about it. I'm putting you on the spot, Alana, because you're trying to think about it, which is if you had one secret to give our audience about how to manage their life better, how to juggle it all. If you had one secret that you could give to them, what would that be? And you only have like 30 seconds because we've got this amazing video I want to do, and we've got one special secret guest who I didn't tell anybody about yet. So we're going to do that. But first I want to get the answers to this question. One secret.
Don't feel guilty. We're not a religion of guilty. That's not us. And so like what everyone else said, you're not going to do everything perfectly, but don't say you're sorry all the time to yourself. Like, I wish I could have. Don't second guess yourself so much, and don't feel guilty. You're doing amazing things. I mean, just by definition, you want to work on your marriage, you want to be there for your kids, and you want to help the Jewish community. You should be take compliments, and don't feel guilty.
I need that one. Wait, I need that neon lights flashing. Okay. All right, that's fantastic. So let's go to Shauna. Okay.
Yeah. It's very hard to follow you.
Okay, Bronny, go.
I feel that you need to forgive yourself. You need to embrace and forgive yourself. And also, I have to tell you that helping somebody feels so good. It's such an amazing feeling. I could be the most depressed and unhappy, and giving feels so good. But forgive yourself if you're not good at it, and forgive yourself if you're not feeling so good about it. You need it to go on.
It's hard to follow.
No, don't feel guilty, and don't forget, and forgive yourself. Those are gorgeous. Forgive yourself. I got it.
So it is hard to come third here, but I would say stop comparing yourself to others. We all have different lives and different strengths, and talk to yourself like you're talking to a friend. We're so self-critical, but when we talk to a friend who's going through something or trying to balance it, we have great compassion. We all do. And we give them the chutz. We always do all those things. So let's learn to talk to ourselves that way. And then we'll be able to nurture ourselves and do what we need to do in the world, which is not about comparing to one another. We all have our own place here to make impact in different ways. So don't compare. and be kind to yourself.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, and ladies, stay on. Hold on for our special guest. Just hold on. And here's what I want to, you should just know, anybody who thus far is a giver to Daily Giving, I'm going to play an amazing, this is the world premiere of this amazing explaining video about Daily Giving, so you can learn a little bit about it. But anybody who already gives to Daily Giving, you should just have this huge sense of pride, because all of these women, what they do and what they contribute to the planet Earth, you have a little piece of them, because these are all recipients of Daily Giving. And I'm going to show you this video. You're going to be blown away. This is the world premiere of it. Nobody has seen this before, and it's going to be played on Sunday night, but you guys are seeing it first. So, okay, go right to the video, and then we come back to a very special guest.
Okay, I have a life hack for you. You should just do this now. Trust me, you're gonna thank me later.
I wanted to take this opportunity to share with you something extraordinary.
Literally everybody is talking about
dailygiving.org.
Even $1 a day can make a huge impact.
With dailygiving.org, you sign up once, you set it, and you forget it.
Every single individual gives half a shekel, the rich and the poor, because everyone together is a part in making the change. And it always bothered me, how come we don't have half a shekel concept today? And then I was introduced to something amazing called dailygiving.org.
$1 doesn't really go very far in the current market. Lots of times you give $1 to this, $1 to that, and it doesn't really feel like it's making a big impact. But when you give it together as a community, it has a really meaningful impact.
100% of every dollar you give every day goes to help these organizations.
We're loading up another truck with groceries to the elderly.
We're able to provide services for over 50 families with kids with special needs and intellectual disabilities this summer due to the generosity, support, partnership, and friendship of everybody at Daily Giving.
This is equipment that is crucial for saving lives. We wouldn't have had all this without support from Daily Giving.
You could see every day who's getting the money, how much they're getting, and you can go back to the very beginning when we started and see every day who got the money, and you see the dollars growing as more people sign up and more people sign up and we get more momentum.
To give $1 a day, it's not asking too much, and if you can do it, it'll be a gewaltige mitzvah.
It's like Klal Yisrael's one big giant virtual tzedakah box, and they take care of your donation and they make sure it goes to extremely worthy causes.
You have ranging from couples suffering with infertility to women with breast cancer to people suffering from poverty that need help with food and living accommodations.
They've helped people that I know very well to supply food for them and to help them make chasanas for their children.
It's so important that we're givers. It's so important that we are always flexing the giving muscle. And no matter what's going on, every single day I know that I've given something.
It's the one email I always read. It makes me feel like I actually gave that day.
I'm not that old, but I remember the days that you can get a slice of pizza for $1. Today, what can you get for $1? But when you put all of our dollars together, all of a sudden the dollar becomes huge.
The Gemara has an expression called pruta mitzdarefes lecheshbon gadol. When it comes to tzedakah, every penny counts.
One of my daughters actually today asked me, I have to give my tzedakah. Can I give to Daily Giving? It's not necessarily years worth, but can I give a few months worth? And you know, to me it made me happy.
This is not instead of giving to other organizations. We want everybody to try to give $1 extra a day together, and that's how we can have a massive, massive impact.
So that is your life hack. Go now to dailygiving.org, sign up. You're gonna get those emails. They're gonna make your day.
You put me into quarantine and I did better. I can't touch another person, yet I'm touching thousands at a time.
Go check it out online right now. Look at the calendar and you will see every dollar that's given goes directly to another organization.
How do you get the biggest bang out of your buck, out of your dollar? It's called dailygiving.org.
Okay, we're back live with, this is Dr. Jonathan Doneth, and he is the founder of Daily Giving. Welcome to the show, Jonathan. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Leah.
it's kind of hard to follow those three women. That was incredible. I don't know what to say, but I'll try to say something after those three amazing women.
Okay, yeah, that was, I was telling Sri, maybe everyone could hear me. I don't know. This is live. What can you do? So about how awesome it was. I feel so moved by you ladies. It's very, very inspiring. Okay, so I want to we just have a few minutes left. So Jonathan, I just want to find out a little bit from you about what are your, now they didn't see the video, so they don't realize how awesome it is and how many things it gives to. So maybe tell us a little bit about daily giving in like 30 seconds, and then tell us what your best parts about daily giving are.
Okay, yeah, the video would have explained a lot, so I'll try in just a very short amount of time say that what we did was we automated a platform to try to get all Jews to give $1 of tzedakah every single day. So no matter what you're doing, wherever you are in the world, every single day, you wake up in the morning, it's 1-0. You've already done a mitzvah, you've already done a good deed. And what happens is we pool everybody's money.
You. That's awesome. I love that.
Right?
And it's set it and forget it. You don't have to worry. Okay, that's great. Okay,
exactly. Right. And what happens is we pool everybody's money together, and every single day we give to a different amazing organization. And the three women here are the heads basically of 3 of our 42 organizations we give to. And every single day we give to a different organization, and every 42 days it repeats and we give them again. And every day, all our givers get an email telling them where the money went that day. All our collective dollars went together to a certain organization. And there's a blurb about that organization, so you can learn about that organization.
Right. Everybody tells me that when they look on their phone, like that's the highlight of their day. They get this thing saying, this is where you were participating with all these other people giving money to this organization. It's so awesome because you're giving $1, but like $5,000 go to that organization. It's such a great feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And so we think that's our special sauce. People, exactly what you said, at the end of the day, someone said, I had a rough day, but then I got that email and I remembered, I did something good today. And we are about $25 short of giving $5,000 a day. So every single day we give almost $5,000. Hopefully people on the show.
25 people signed up right now.
We'd be up to $5,000 a day, every single day. And it goes up and up and up as every day as more people sign up and more people sign up.
How do they
We're
do
giving
it?
over $1.8 million a year.
How do they do it? www.dailygiving.org.
Dailygiving.org. It's very simple. It takes 30 seconds to sign up. And my favorite part about daily giving is the Achdus part, is the fact that not everyone knows this, but over 30 countries, people have signed up for daily giving from all over the world. And the feedback is incredible. Everyone loves being a part of it. You feel like you're part of special, really something special, whether you're from all spectrums of Judaism, people give and they love it. And I think what more would Hashem want to have that all his children from all over the world coming together and just giving $1 a day. And I think you should write your really big checks to Sharsheret and to A-Time and to Shalom Task Force and all our other organizations, but save $1 a day to get the daily giving, because you're going to feel it's such an impact. We have such an impact. What can you do with $1? But when you put it all together, it has a massive, massive impact.
You said this, I'm stealing this from the video because they didn't get to see the video, but like that there's a portfolio of charities that you vet, and you have a board that looks into what, and they're all across the board. There's many things that do for women. There are things for poor people, for, all kinds of different, it's a whole portfolio, right?
Exactly. It's like your ETF of charity. So for $1, you get to give to poverty and infertility and special needs and emergencies and cancer and mental health and substance abuse, and it's all for $1 a day, and people just love being a part of it. And hopefully
Jonathan, it's actually interesting. Yesterday I signed up for the first time, and that was what sold me, because I was like, $1, what do you get for $1 today? Even the 99-cent store is not $1 anymore. Everything's like over $1.
Well, no, they just made the sizes smaller. Everything, it's like they used to get $1 whole box of cookies. Now you get like one cookie.
Yeah, nothing. So to give $1 and know that it goes to so much good, it's amazing.
Okay, so tell us, what is your biggest challenge in daily giving? And I actually want to ask that. Okay, we didn't have time to ask it to all those ladies, but whatever. Okay, we're running out of time. So just what is your biggest challenge with daily giving?
I would say our biggest challenge is that everyone loves this idea. Everyone who hears about it, everyone loves it. And then for some reason, we've been doing it for 2 years, and people are like, wow, you're giving $5,000 every single day. I said, yeah, but we should be giving $50,000 a day, $100,000 a day. There are 14.5 million Jews in the world, right? So that's our goal. We want everyone to give $1 a day. And so what I think is people, they love it and they love the idea, but they're just too distracted. Our lives are so busy. So if you don't remember to go and just take the 30 seconds to sign up, you forget. I had this one great story where one of my friends, the day we started in January 2019, I sent that email to 500 of my closest friends. And then a year later, she signed up, and I just called her up, and I said, thank you so much. She signed up for $2 a day, which some people do. Some people give $1 for the whole family. And so I said, what inspired you all of a sudden after a year after I told you to sign up? She's like, I meant to sign up the day you told me, and I just forgot. And then I kept thinking I'm going to do it. And then I said, well, why'd you sign up for $2 a day? Because she was single. She was about 37 years old, and she was single. And she said, I signed up $1 a day for me and $1 a day for my future husband as a chus that I should find my bashert. Wow. And that is one of the most incredible things I see when everyone signs up, says, who do you want to make this in honor of? People do it in Le'il and Nishmas to raise their neshama.
Did she get married?
She got married. She got married less than a year after she gave that. She got married. And just a couple weeks ago during COVID, maybe 3 months ago during COVID, she got married. And we get people who give in honor of someone who needs who's sick, or someone who needs having problems with infertility. They give in honor of that person, or Le'il Nishmas, a parent who's passed away, because you can't do mitzvahs anymore when you die, but you could do charity for someone when they die. So it's just a wonderful thing. I feel bad that everyone doesn't get to see this, but we can see why people sign up and who they're doing in honor of. And that's another thing I love about Daily
Jonathan, somebody asked on Facebook, do you take the money? Do they pay for the whole year up front, or how does it work?
Oh, good question. We couldn't hit their credit card every single day because the credit card fee would be too high. And we take nothing, by the way. Daily Giving doesn't take a penny. Every single penny of that dollar goes to the charity organizations. Wow. We were volunteer for a long, long time. We've had to start raising, but we raise money separately for our own overhead. I don't take anything. We have a couple people that get paid a very small amount of money because we've gotten pretty big. But 100% goes to the charity. But to answer your question, you sign up for either $1 a day for a month or $1 a day for a year. So those are the two choices. And every single day, we are your shaliach, we are a messenger. We give out the money for you every single day to one of these incredible organizations. And that's what the rabbis told us to do. And even if it's charged once a month, they still get the mitzvah of doing it every single day. Correct.
Make sure.
We're giving out.
I'm a giver also. I want to make sure I'm getting it.
Every single day we give out their money for them to these different organizations every day.
Okay. Lastly,
Leah, I just want to tell you something else about Daily Giving. Not only is it amazing that we're getting the money, but every time you send it out, Daily Giving, you remind the community about a resource that unfortunately they will need, or for some of them are good things that happen in the Jewish life cycle and your life. So at the end of the day, the tzedakah is tremendous. I have to tell you, getting a grant like this is like unbelievable. But the outreach, so they are reminded, someone's going through breast cancer, domestic violence, infertility. I know there's a good organization because I get that email, every month or every 42 days, and you reminded of the chesed organizations out there. So huge thank you, not only for the financial, but also raising awareness. It costs a lot of money to get these resources into people's hands, and now you've made it that much easier. So
genius. If you could end up, Jonathan, I'll end the show, but I just wanted to, can you just tell us a little about Sunday night? Because, why should people watch? Why should they sign up for the Daily Giving? And you just go to dailygiving.org to both register and become a giver at Daily Giving and a member there. Also, you can register for this Power Hour on Sunday night. So
to register for Sunday night, everyone should go. It's free, and you get registered. Just for registering, you get entered into a free raffle for an Apple Watch or an Amazon gift card just for registering. And Sunday night, no better reason than to watch Leah Richeimer, who's going to be hosting 7 of the most incredible Jewish women speakers in the world. I mean, literally, each one is more famous than the other. I don't know how we got them all to come on. They're all doing it for free. They usually get paid tons. They're really, really popular women speakers that get paid a lot of money to speak, and they all do it for fee for Daily Giving because we like to say we're Am Yisrael, we're Klal Yisrael tzedakah box, right? We all do it because this is everyone can sign up and give. And you have to see these women. They're going to inspire you. You're going to have an amazing time. We have a great show planned. You're going to get to see that video, which we wanted to debut here today with sound next time. It's really incredible. You're going to see all the different speakers on there, and dailygiving.org/power hour. You should sign up. You're going to really enjoy Sunday night. Hope you can
Yay.
come.
Okay.
Yeah, and Leah, have everyone spread it to their friends, because one of the things that they offer is you don't only get a raffle ticket for your sign up, but for everyone you send it to, they add more tickets on your name. So I've already sent it to a whole bunch of people, my 500 friends.
Well, your 500
so
friends.
I've got 500 tickets in there.
All right, sorry, great.
Yeah, so there's a raffle if you enter. Yeah, exactly. If you pass it along to your friends, then you sign up and you fill out and you can enter as many times as you want. Okay, this is Leah Richeimer for the Ladies Talk Show. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Jonathan. This has just been really an eye opener and moving and touching. And I just feel like if I want to, you're making such an important impact in the world and giving women a place to turn. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank each and every one of you. And Jonathan, thank you for all the beautiful work that you do and how much you're improving the world just on your organization. This is Leah Richeimer. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.